Hey YouTube, it's cecelialane here. Mm. So just wanted to do a quick update um, on, I don't know, something that's been kind of on my mind. Sorry, I'm cooking dinner for me. My husband and daughter are out, so I'm doing a salad for me. Yum! Um, anyway, so I'll be doing that while I'm talking. So sorry if I seem distracted in some way. Anyway, so what I wanted to talk about was some things that have been on my mind regarding, I don't know, I guess some of the good, the bad, the ugly, um, and I don't know, I guess that we don't really talk about that much. Um, and when I say we, I mean people who have had surgery. So one of the things in particular that's been on my mind has been um, what a bitch I've become. And I say that in the nicest way ever. um, so, I mean, before I had the surgery, I was smart and assured and assertive and all of those things. I mean, I have a lot of really great qualities. Um, but something about being fat that really detracts from those qualities in the real world. And something about being thin that amplifies those qualities. So, first, I guess I'll say the things that it's affected are my relationship with my husband, uh, work, how I am at work, and what progress I've made and how quickly I've progressed. And then just me personally. Sorry, bugs. Yeah. I just opened the house up because it's kind of warm. So first I'll say, that there's something about being fat that makes us kind of meek. Or let me say meek. That made me kind of meek, or meeker than I would naturally be. Even though I've always been a very strong and definitive individual, the weight has really come into play about how that has translated into how I interact with society and with individuals in society. And I was looking at some of my videos the other day and saying, wow, like even my demeanor is different. How I talk, the way I form my words. I mean, I'm still there. You can still see me. It's just a very different me, in so many ways, on so many levels. And the best way that I know how to say it is, the bitch factor. And in some ways that's very good, and in other ways it's not so good. Obviously, being a bitch in the workplace, especially with what I do, and when I say bitch in terms of workplace, I'm thinking, somebody who's very aggressive, very assertive, very definitive, very on top of things, in control, a really strong leader. It's been a huge benefit to me, and I've made unbelievable strides in my career and in my work efforts and in my goals just in the last 6 months to a year. And I really attribute a lot of that to my weight loss. And that's a great thing. That's a great thing. When I come home and I'm with my husband, not so great. And, well, that's wrong to say, not so great. So there were a lot of things that previously I think I let my husband get away with because I felt like he was more attractive than me and he could replace me with great ease, and it would be a lot harder for me to replace him. Um, and when I talk about replacement of people, because anybody that's married knows that's a very loaded, layered type of term that you use. You don't just replace people. It's not just as simple as that. However, getting past the barriers to be able to connect with another person and potentially develop something long term, that barrier part is huge in the fat people world. And you lose access to a number of people that you could, probably fit together really well with. But because you don't have that look, because of the weight, well then you kind of lose that opportunity. And so the weight loss surgery has really afforded me that opportunity again to be able to, connect with people, because pretty much everybody thinks I'm attractive now. Now, whether I'm their type or, or body type or whatever, that gets into like specifics, but I am no longer the, piranha, ugly, fat person. And so suddenly, I can replace him just as easily as he could replace me. Which I don't think it's really about replacement. I think it's about me recognizing my own self-worth and, that I really have something to offer to the relationship from a number of viewpoints. That there, I'm not this one-dimensional person. I'm multifaceted, and there are multiple facets of fabulousness to me. And so you better recognize. And I'm recognizing. Everybody's recognizing. So, that's the transition that my husband and I really had to go through. Luckily, we do have a very strong foundation. And he's an unbelievably fantastic man. So, it makes it possible for me to say things to him like, I think previously I kind of let things go, or that it's not that there's anything wrong or that I'm upset with you more than now or anything, but just that, I'm more willing to assert myself about certain things and more willing to communicate on everything, on every level. And not afraid to communicate, not afraid to speak up and say, I don't like that, or I do like that, or this is what I want, or I don't want that. So I think that, obviously being with the right individual makes a huge difference about how this goes. Because you do go through this kind of transformation. I mean, literally transformation, where you go from feeling like a piece of shit to feeling like the shit. And everybody gets all excited, like, what could be bad about that? There could be a whole lot bad about that. A whole lot bad. That's a huge transformation to go through. It's huge for yourself. It's huge for those around you. And It's not something that, you just adjust to immediately overnight. So that's something that I've definitely been grappling with over the last couple of months. Since I guess, a little bit before I hit my maintenance. And since then, my husband, my family, my friends have all been dealing with that. One of my closest friends says, that's because you lost the weight. That's why you put your foot down on that kind of stuff now. And it's true. I mean, me, not you, me, really changed my feelings of self-worth. And don't get me wrong, it's not all gone. I mean, all those mean, horrible voices in my head that say the mean, horrible things about myself, they're still there. However, they're much quieter. They speak up a lot less often. And they're just as likely to say something good now as they are to say something bad, or maybe more likely to say something good now than they are to say something bad. Let me look at my time. 11 minutes, okay. And I think, I don't know, when you're at the beginning of your journey and you're thinking, oh, be skinny, like, go to the store and get whatever I want, have people not look at me funny anymore, no longer leading with, hi, I'm fat, my name is Cecilia. That's huge. And when you're thinking about those kind of things, you're just thinking how awesome that is to, to have all these changes. You're not thinking about how will that affect the dynamics of, and I know you think about it generally speaking, of course, I gave some thought to it, but the dynamics of my relationship with my friends, especially my fat friends, with my husband, my lover, with my kids. Many of you saw my interview with my daughter, and suddenly it became, I was the skinny one, she's the fat one. And as a mom, that's, there's no like, yay in that. In terms of that, I'd rather have stayed the fat one so she could stay the skinny one, because, nothing's more important to me than my daughter's, okay, I'm about to cry, but my daughter's happiness and her feeling of self-worth, and for her to see how important and fantastic and fabulous she is. And for me to one-up her in any way is not a plus for me at all. So that's something that's very difficult for me, that I'm really having a hard time. And I don't, you don't really think about those things when you're going through the beginning stages of the surgery or thinking about the impact. But they are very, 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 very real. And we all end up having to deal with them. And I think that's why, as one of the many reasons why we can often slide back into old habits, gain our weight back. You spend a lifetime in a certain category, being seen in a certain light, living in a certain comfortable zone, and suddenly all of that changes, and I mean suddenly. And how do you deal with that, long term, long run? How do you sustain that? How do you get rid of all of those mean and icky voices in your head that tell you that you are worthless, that you are fat, that you are ugly, that you are stupid? It's a very difficult, very complicated process that takes time, a great deal of love and support, you know, a level of maturity and awareness, a willingness to face and confront these really negative aspects of yourself. And you know, and keep from getting out of control, going from being a piece of shit to the bitchy ass shit. And thinking too fucking much of yourself. You know, it's... Anyways. So this is what's been on my mind. You know, it's funny, of course, because it's always easier after you're like done with it, or you feel like you're in the home stretch, to share rather than while something is actually going on. So, and that's to say that, you know, the real work of this and what's been going on, I feel like I'm in the home stretch now, and things are starting to get better in that sense, where I'm kind of starting to, I'm past the reinventing myself part and getting into the, oh, this is me part. Settling into me and the new me part. And so, of course, I can stand on my little pedestal and speak to y'all about how this can be done and how to do it, because, you know, now I've almost done it. And, you know, and really, who even knows? Who knows what is ahead for me? Who knows how much more shit? Who knows what other surprises? Who knows what kind of bitch I can become in the next month or two? Who knows? I really feel like I'm on the home stretch. I really feel like I'm settling into who I am. And that it's becoming as much of an all-around good thing as a person could be, because we are not all good or bad. We are definitely a combination of the two at all times. So, but I do feel like I'm on the home stretch. I'm almost there. And when I say almost there, I mean you never get there. But, you know, that now I can work on sustaining, you know, who I am today, and the fact that I like who I am, and not going too far to one extreme or the other. So I'm sure I'm at 17 minutes. I've just really rambled on. I'm sorry. I just wanted to come on here and touch base on. I'm so hungry. Anyway, so that's it. Thanks for hanging out and listening. Really appreciate it. Quick view. I'm in my work clothes, which normally you never see me in. So this is me in my work clothes. There's a little top I got from Limited recently. Dumb. Oh. Alright. So thank you, YouTube. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Thanks for letting me go on as usual. Alright, talk to you soon. Bye.